WC here with another video. Week 4 of the NFL season. Looking for week 3, week 2, and all that other stuff. It should be in a playlist. I don't think I need to link it anymore. So if you're looking for the previous weeks and their picks, it'll basically be in a playlist. Last week, it was an even week. I mean, it was a couple upsets that did not happen. I was almost close on the Denver upset over not Chicago, but Seattle. It's close on that one. Close but no cigar. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into this week 4 picks. Starting off on Thursday night, the Giants versus my Washington Redskins. Yes, I'm a Washington Redskins fan. And the Giants kind of turned it around against Houston. I thought that Houston was going to be able to go up into New York like the Cardinals did the week before and, basically do New York in New York. You know what I'm saying? But, New York basically found their running game and they were able to use play action against that Texans defense, handing the Texans, I think, their first loss of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got Washington, who came off that heated rivalry game with the Eagles. And, Kirk Cousins looking as good as he did. And, towards the end of the game, not, coming up a little bit short and everything. I'm looking at this matchup and I'm saying, the Washington Redskins have one of the top defenses in the league this year through the first couple of games. A complete turnaround from last year. And their offense looks like they can sustain drives, can eat up the clock if necessary. They have Deshaun Jackson, so it's not like they don't have a wide receiver threat. They've got Alfred Morris. I think that the Washington Redskins win this game. They're favored by about 4 points, which equals to about maybe a field goal, maybe a touchdown, maybe even 10 points, maybe 17 points. Who knows? But I'm taking the Redskins in this game. It's an easy pick for me. I'm not saying the Giants can't come up in there and win, but I'm picking the Skins. I'm staying home team. You can say I'm home team biased, but it is what it is. Going on to the Sunday games. Sunday games, starting with Miami going to Oakland. Matter of fact, I don't know if that's a misprint. That says that Miami and Oakland is a 1 o'clock game. Maybe it is a 1 o'clock game. I don't know for sure, but I think it's a 4 o'clock game. So, anyway, Miami and Oakland. You got Miami with the Tannehill debacle. They don't even know if Tannehill is going to be the number 1 quarterback or what have you. I think that he will be. I think he'll start this game. Then you got David Carr, who were, David Carr and the Oakland Raiders, who was like a possession away from winning that game. Not winning the game, but tying the game close in New England. If you're a New England fan, I'll tell you why you should be worried about that if Oakland's coming back on you in the fourth quarter at this point. But Miami's favored by 4.5. I will go with Miami in this game. I think that they're more of a solid team than Oakland is at this point. I don't think that Oakland is scaring anybody. Going on to the next game, Green Bay at Chicago. Heated rivalry between both of these teams. Green Bay, you got Aaron Rodgers telling everybody to basically relax about the, their 1 and 2 start. I'm going to tell you like this. They shouldn't relax at all because they're probably going to be 1 and 3 after they take on Chicago, because Chicago looks like one of those teams. They didn't look really too much impressive at all on Monday Night Football, if you ask me. All right. Cutler did his thing, but they didn't really look cohesive, and they still won that game by as many points as they did. Maybe that's just how bad the Jets are. But, Green Bay going to Chicago, I don't see Green Bay going up into Chicago and beating Chicago after Chicago's basically looked impressive in both, the last 2 games, even though on Monday night they looked but I got Chicago winning this game. They're favored by 1 point, not necessarily. I think the Green Bay is actually favored by 1 point, but I'm going with the underdog Chicago. You call that an upset pick if you want to, but I don't think it's an upset. Buffalo travels to Houston. 2 surprising teams here. Both of these teams started off pretty darn hot. Both of them came down to earth last week. Looking at both of these teams going forward, I think that Buffalo has probably a better upswing than Houston does in Houston's division. I'm not saying that the Houston Texans division is hard. It shouldn't be a hard division for them to potentially come out of, looking at the way that Indianapolis has started. But, looking at both of these teams, I'm saying that, between both of these teams, I like Buffalo a little bit better. So I'm going to go with Buffalo on the road to go into Houston and beat Houston. All right. Not quite an upset pick, but I think that Buffalo will win that game. Going on to Tennessee and Indianapolis. I mean, Indianapolis started off, with two bad losses, and then they come out with Jacksonville and they basically handled Jacksonville. Tennessee has been a Jekyll and Hyde team. You really don't know which Tennessee team's going to show up from week to week. You just don't know. All right. So I think this is an easy pick. I think I'm going to go with Indianapolis here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take Indianapolis. Then Steve Smith basically gets the return matchup against Cam Newton and the Panthers. Carolina visitors Baltimore. Baltimore has been on a roll since the Ray Rice debacle, that big distraction. Honestly, it really hasn't looked like a distraction to the way, to Baltimore, the way they've been playing so far. Looking at Carolina, Carolina's been one of those teams where, like last year, I thought that they were going to be one of those teams that was going to drop off from that 12-4 performance that they put on last year, and it's proven to be true so far. With their struggles that they had against Pittsburgh on Sunday night, didn't look good, folks. Did not look good. So, Baltimore's favored by maybe -3, -2. I'm going to go with the favorite in this game. I'll go with the Baltimore Ravens. Going to the next game, Detroit goes to the Jets with all the turmoil that's going on in New York over Geno Smith and him turning the ball over as much as he's been turning the ball over. Let me just say it like this. Detroit has Megatron. They got Reggie Bush. They should be able to get him out into space. Matthew Stafford. I think that Detroit goes into New York and beats New York. They're actually favored by, maybe a couple of points, maybe a field goal, give or take. I'm taking Detroit to win that game. The next game, Tampa Bay against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with that impressive performance. They actually signed James Harrison out of retirement at 36 years old. Who would have thunk that? Signed him out of retirement. And then Tampa Bay just looks terrible. I mean, them basically getting blown out last Thursday night. And it's real sad, man. I mean, for Lovie Smith's team to get blown out like that, I mean, it's just real sad. I mean, it's a complete reconstruction, rebuilding situation there in Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh should roll in this game. They're actually favored by, I think they're probably one of the biggest stat lines of the week by about maybe 8 to 7 points. -8, -7. So, Pittsburgh should roll in this game. Going on to Jacksonville and San Diego. Jacksonville is just another team that should be contending for the first overall pick. They're probably going to be starting Blake Bortles going on for the rest of the season. They should have been doing that the first 2 weeks. I don't know why they waited this long. But, San Diego is one of those teams, like, they get into this sort of rhythm with Phillip Rivers. And it looks like they'll be well in rhythm against Jacksonville. I would take San Diego. That's an easy pick right there. I think so. One of the more competitive games of the week. All right, Philadelphia and San Francisco. About to say San Diego. Philadelphia and San Francisco. San Francisco has been struggling. One of those 1 and 2 teams that everybody's hitting the panicking button over. It's like, oh my God. I'm like, nah, you need to just go ahead, calm down, relax. Just like Aaron Rodgers said, relax. I think that that's what the San Francisco 49ers fans should do. Just relax. The competition has been kind of favorable. I mean, it's been kind of formidable, if I can get the word out. The first 2-3 weeks. So I wouldn't really hit the panic button. And then looking at Philadelphia, and I've already went in on Philadelphia and the way that they've been playing this year. I don't like the way that they've been winning these games, being down 17-0. And, all these other games and stuff and being down double-digit points and then coming back. They can't do this all year, all right? But with all that said, they can beat San Francisco. And San Francisco has already been done this year by Chicago. But this is why I come back. But San Francisco is going to win this game. I take San Francisco. They're favored by about 3, maybe 5 points. Taking San Francisco in this game. Moving on to Atlanta in Minnesota. Minnesota looks like they're in just turmoil, man. Just all together with the Adrian Peterson distraction. And they're losing Matt Castle for basically the rest of the year. And then Atlanta with their beatdown. Their complete beatdown of Tampa Bay. And, it's just one of those things where Atlanta, this usually looks like a game that Atlanta will probably lose. I'm just going to be real. Looks like a game that Atlanta will probably lose. But I think that they hold up. I think that Atlanta wins this game. It's 4 o'clock game. All the games, the last 3-4 games, 4 o'clock game. And then on Sunday night, New Orleans travels to Dallas. All right, the Dallas Cowboys look like they've been turning a little bit of a corner, you know what I'm saying, since their first loss. And then the last 2 games, they haven't looked super impressive, but they looked impressive enough to win the last 2 games. Now they're going against, a New Orleans team that just got their first win the last week, and a team that's basically built to win right now. I don't think that Dallas is built to win right now. They're just not. I think that New Orleans goes into Dallas and hands Dallas their second loss of the season. Just going to go ahead and say that. And then on Monday Night Football, the New England Patriots travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Now, New England, like I said last week, New England playing the Oakland Raiders, and they didn't look great, man. They didn't really look all that great playing the Raiders. And it took a last-minute interception by Vince Wilfork to basically end that game and seal that game up for those guys. Now this week, they have to travel to Kansas City to take on, a team where, Jamal Charles, I don't know if Jamal Charles is going to play in this game. But at this point, Kansas City is they're just like, Indianapolis. They're just like, Carolina, just one of those teams from last year that came out and punched everybody in the face, and now they're getting punched in the face. Kansas City looks a little bit disappointing so far. But, this is a Monday night game. If anybody can beat New England on Monday night, it should be Kansas City, and I don't have an upset pick yet. All right? And there's a reason why. All right, there's a reason why I don't have an upset pick, because New England's going to win this game. All right? So, let me just go ahead and run through my picks again. Let me just go ahead and run through my picks for you guys. Washington, Miami, Chicago, Buffalo, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Detroit, Pittsburgh, San Diego, San Francisco, Atlanta, New Orleans, and New England. That's the picks for week 4. It's the WC, man. Let me know how you guys feel about the games this week. Do you differ from, the way I feel? You guys hear the music in the background. Got to get up out of here real quick. And until next time, folks, 2 fingers. Peace out. See you guys next week. No upset picks this week. What do you want me to say?